One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a real movie. Because the most of the actors weren't actors, they were real psychiatric patients. The combination between them and brilliance and intelligence of Jack Nicholson and Louis Fletcher made an absolute impressive and iconic movie, which won all 5 Oscars together.
About a mental institution where it's like a prison with sick minds and poisonous mentality, that guy pops up to break the traditions, to show us nobody can stop us from being free.
McMurphy as a criminal is a psychiatric patient to come out of the jail, but he went somewhere else where people in there consciously and deliberately were serving time in mental institution.
And McMurphy was an absolute game changer for that people. He tried to show the patient their potentiality and beauty of the life out there, and he was some extent was succeed to doing that stuff. And McMurphy showing them with party, drinking, girls, and all of them were signs that McMurphy showed all that guy to inspire them for a life and more enjoyable stuff to be a better off out of this shithole.
But there were another important characters who made this movie a great, like Chief, that big guy who used to stand one side and remain deliberately silent, and maybe he was kind of complaining about situation, but it wasn't active action. But when Jack Nicholson, McMurphy come up and talked to him and showed him his potentiality, his using of his unfair advantages like his power and his height to doing helpful tasks like winning basketball game, like crossing the long fence of institution, and like breaking the windows with that heavy stone up faucet.
Louis Fletcher as a Nurse Ratched was one of the most hateful and terrifying character in the whole history of the cinema, who played skillfully her role without doing any special thing, just with her look and with power of the speech she used. Being strict without showing any feeling, and being a calmness could make mysterious Nurse Ratched an iconic antagonist. She also is symbol of the dictators. She dictates all stuffs to others, and she mentioned that the people were scared in real life to her.
And about that scene that Jack Nicholson suggested about opening World Series, he suggested Nurse Ratched that we can change the plans of night to watch that game on TV, and Nurse Ratched told that we wanna do that based on majority, so they voted on that. But after majority of people were accepted, but regardless of that, Nurse Ratched rejected McMurphy's request, so McMurphy became furious, and he sat in front of the TV, in front of turned off TV, and he started reporting game ball excitedly. He didn't quit until other guys, other patients gathered near him, and they got excited just like McMurphy, and they screamed, they was happy. And that scene was one of most iconic scenes, because McMurphy always tried to watch things and happenings in different point of view, and it was one of his positive features.
And I never wanted to be in place of the McMurphy when he could convince the whole body to with him, and he gained the majority of the people they requested from. Yes, are you agreement to me, all of us, to the watch the TV together, that football game, or not? It was football game or baseball?
Baseball.
It was baseball. Yeah, excuse me. It was the baseball. But when he could to satisfy them, but that nerve-wracking nurse didn't led to them to the watch that. That was kind of the scene. If you want to replace them, you can't. You just wanted to screaming, because with all your the tried you had, but in the last you couldn't that reach that your goal. You can't gain it. But somebody interfere with that and interrupted the everything.
Yeah, and water in this movie was a symbol of freedom, maybe when they escaped from the mental institution and they went there to sailing, and McMurphy introduced themselves as doctors of a mental institution. It was one of the hilarious scenes ever. Overall, this movie had a lot of great scenes, just like the last scene when McMurphy grabbed throat of Nurse Ratched because of she was a real nerve-wracking guy, a sadist guy, and but eventually, yeah, we saw the influence of McMurphy on Chief, and Chief got free and ran out of that place to freedom, to a jungle and ocean.
And that last scene when that the chief guy wanted and decided to kill the McMurphy because they had some operation on their mind, and he changed completely her mind because that ambitious the thoughts he had. And when he speaking to the McMurphy, hey McMurphy, wake up, we should got run at that place because I can't stand here for any time. But when he could and figure out the McMurphy has changed for the all the time and never can to that previous version, turn back that previous version he had, he could decide I should murder this body because he has murdered before I wanted to do it. And because of that, when he cut off that stone fountain with that strong hand he had, he broke the ceiling and the windows, and he could too ran forever at that hell place.